I was probably in grade school or going into junior high school, and I got interested and involved in the Y clubs to start with. So the local kids from my neighborhood got a club together, and that club, in quite a few different forms, but for the most part intact, we carried right through graduation of high school. We've pretty much stayed together. We added and subtracted a few folks along the way, but it pretty much was a pretty fun experience. So we did a lot of sports together and Y kinds of activities. So I grew up doing a lot of Y stuff, actually. I had quite a couple of mentors, real specific mentors in the YMCA. My dad died when I was pretty young, so I kind of looked to the Y to find my way, so to speak. Actually, our Y club outlived many of the counselors that were assigned to be our leaders. But when I started going to camp, I only was a camper 1 year, and I was a camper in the outpost, which is the oldest, at that time was the oldest kids in camp. And my friends had been coming for a long time, and they finally talked me into it, and so I came that first year and just had a really, really good time. Immediately after that, Neil Featherstone, who was the camp director at that time, the following year hired me as a maintenance boy to be on the maintenance crew. And he was a great mentor of certainly of mine and lots of other fellows in those days. And I stayed on the staff right through college, and a year after, actually, working my way through the whole pecking order of maintenance and kitchen and junior counselor and doing all the different areas around camp and stuff like that. And my last year I was the wrangler, which was quite interesting. A boy from Skokie who became the wrangler. The wrangler is kind of a unique position at camp. It's real demanding in a couple of ways. One is you have to be wrangling horses is a real job. Running a riding program where you've got a dozen horses or more, it's a real job. And then couple that with being a real program person to get kids interested in it, be a teacher and a promoter, and really swing with the program. So it's a real demanding job here, that's for sure. I've been the caretaker since 1980. The end of 1980 I was hired, so I'll be finishing my 29th year this year. This is my 29th season. And this definitely is not just a job. We've chosen to make this is a lifestyle, really. So, what else would you do? Being in this position for this length of time I've watched the camp develop and go through, different stages. Different camp directors have different ideas about, I should say, different focuses, perhaps. It's kind of always evolving, and yet it stays pretty steadfastly the same, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, I think it's all about community, I guess. Community is probably the most important thing. And to maintain a healthy community, of course, takes everybody involved, I guess. Everyone has to be involved in taking care of the place, taking care of the community, and living together, really, which is what we try to impart on the campers in their cabin groups, I think, is to give them a taste of what it means to cooperate and adapt and be helpful and take care of themselves as well. In the role as caretaker, we have a crew of kids that works with us, usually high school or college age, and we have some exposure to regular campers. I won't say much influence per se like a counselor. We're more behind the scenes and so forth. But I've seen quite a few staff come through, I guess I'd say, and quite a few have worked on our crew at one time or another, or at least worked with us on projects when we needed more help and that sort of thing. So more of my exposure was with staff rather than kids, I think, or has been. People that I've known, their kids have come here, and I'm sure their kids' kids are getting ready to come here. But it certainly is, because with the family camp aspect, the family camp here is pretty important, and lots of generations of family campers have been through here. That the grandparents now were here when I was here in the 60s, and then the parents are still coming back, and occasionally we have reunions where we have 3 generations here at times when they come back for a family camp reunion, so to speak. There is quite a legacy, really, of people that do return and try to what would you say? Try to share what experiences they had with their children, and carry on.